Hey everybody, what's going on? Before we get into today's video on the Montreal Canadiens, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. You can find that in the bottom right hand corner of this video. The Montreal Canadiens are entering action on Saturday night against the Boston Bruins with a record of 6-5-2 on the season. Not so bad, not so good either, but still they're well within the realm of being in the race in the Eastern Conference playoff picture. But for now, we have to dive into some of the things that are currently transpiring outside of on the ice, which revolves around the Montreal Canadiens goaltending situation. The Montreal Canadiens goaltending situation is a complicated one right now. You have three NHL capable netminders, at least we'll call them that for now, in Jake Allen, Samuel Montembeault, and Kaden Primo. Kaden Primo picked up his first NHL win in Detroit, which is his hometown, last night, and that was a big win for the Montreal Canadiens as they had been in a recent slide and they needed to get back on track, not just in the win column in terms of their young players playing well, their veterans contributing, like Mike Matheson had a nice bounce back game. He had been struggling for a bit, and it was nice to see him find the back of the net, but also put together a really competent effort for a full 65 minutes. That was something that we were looking for, and that's exactly what he delivered because he had been shaky as of recently. But back to the goaltending picture, it's a really difficult position to be in for the Montreal Canadiens right now because, as we know, we entered the regular season where Ken Hughes and his management team didn't want to lose a goalie for nothing, and they have a lot more intel than we do. So obviously there was a hint that there was going to be a claim on Kaden Primo if they did send him down to Laval because he needs waivers to clear now in terms of where he's at in his career. And I do believe that Kaden Primo is someone that wouldn't exactly fetch the Montreal Canadiens a whole lot in a trade right now. So it's kind of a complicated situation to be in because still, if you do release him right now and put him on waivers, you're going to see him likely get claimed by someone, whether that's the Edmonton Oilers, whether that's the Tampa Bay Lightning, teams that are in need of goaltending, specifically that Edmonton team right now because they are reeling. They are struggling on a lot of different levels right now, and a big reason for that is their goaltending. So I think that there is some solutions that could be coming sooner rather than later, but the question is which netminder is the one to go? I think the biggest issue for me right now is that let's say the Montreal Canadiens decide to trade any of these three netminders, they're not exactly stricken with depth right now at the AHL level, and that's a problem in terms of if one of the NHL goalies gets injured after they make a move like this, they're kind of really thin at the position for the time being. They have a lot of prospects on the way, but those goaltenders aren't NHL ready. They're all playing junior hockey or in the collegiate ranks. So I do believe that there is kind of a pros and cons aspect to this situation, and it's not as easy as just, hey, let's get an asset for one of these goaltenders and move on from them towards the future. That's just not as simple as it looks right now, and I do believe that if one of these desperate teams, whether it's one of the two that I mentioned, like an Edmonton or a Tampa Bay, does make a move like that, I do believe that the Montreal Canadiens will be getting a solid asset in return. I don't think the Montreal Canadiens are going to lose any of these goalies for peanuts, and it just doesn't make sense for them to do that. As I mentioned, there's just a lot at play right now, and there's a lot of confusion as well, because in theory, it's really not good for the goaltenders either. You can't really find any consistency or get a good runway going in terms of their overall play. Jake Allen's been the best of the three early on this season, but after a performance like that from Kaden Primo last night, how do you not give him another start? So I do believe there are a lot of questions right now in terms of the Montreal Canadiens goaltending situation, and there aren't a lot of answers right now either, but there has to be something coming sooner rather than later because they can't keep continuing rolling on with three goaltenders. It just isn't good for the development of any of these three. That's it for me today from Cook's Corner. As always, let me know in the comment section down below what you think the Montreal Canadiens should do with their three goaltender system right now, and if you think any of these three goaltenders are going to be on the move sooner rather than later. I'm Zach Cook. We'll see you later.